Welcome back once again to the WCS America Season 1 Finals. Snute versus Alicia, playing for the 5th place consolation spot in the Korean Grand Final, the Global Final. Right now it's all tied up at 1 each. Snute looking very, very impressive on Neoplanet S. Alicia looked great in both games, quite frankly.
I really think he looked very solid on Neoplanet S once more. I think his opening was great. I thought the pylon block was fantastic. The mothership core was so cute on the south side. 11-minute turret base. I don't think it's all that bad when you open up the way you do and you slow Zerg economy down as much as he did. I really liked this play for a long time, but Snute's engagements were just really good.
It's phenomenal how much depth the Viper adds to the Roach Hydra army. It's just unbelievable. If you go back, I mean, Zerg players have been playing Roach Hydra since the inception of
the Viper. Or you mean Roach Hydra in general?
Yeah, the Zerg players have been playing Roach Hydra since the very early days of Wings of Liberty. And
yes, some people stuck around with it a little too long as well.
Right, but like there were very distinct points in the life of StarCraft where Zergs were like, oh, I can't play this style, it's not cost effective enough.
Even right now, there are still a lot of mixed opinions about it, Ben. Like, some people really still believe that Roach Hydra Viper, like, I think someone tweeted about it quite recently. I'm not sure, so I don't want to quote anyone on it, but I think someone said that everyone just wants to make Roach Hydra Viper work, but it just doesn't really. But
it really depends on who's running the Zerg army, man, because Snute was talking to us about it earlier today. He's like, yeah, I just play Roach Hydra Viper and beat everything. So it's something that in the hands of an expert is very clearly incredibly viable. So here we are on Whirlwind in our 3rd game in this best of 5 series. Down in the bottom right-hand corner of the map is Liquid Snute, the red Zerg. That red ambiance as he plays. His opponent, bottom left-hand side of the screen, spawning as close as he possibly can on this particular map. The Blue Protoss player, Axiom's Alicia.
And Ben, I think it's safe to predict that Alicia is gonna go back to what he knows best: building lots
of void rays.
He's like, in this last game, I tried to make this Colossus thing work. You know what? It's just not worth it, man.
You know, it's an incredibly unique style and one that we haven't seen much outside of these Axiom guys, but it looked very, very strong on Belcher Vestige. I would like to see him come back to it and perhaps show us more of why it is so good.
I mean, in a couple of the other games as well, we've seen that like one of the most important things once these actually go into a lot of void rays are the sentries as well. Because we saw yesterday in the games that Alicia played against Moonglade, right? On a certain moment, Moonglade had a crazy amount of Hydras. I think it was a game on Cloud Kingdom, but he was just never really able to engage the Protoss army because sentries just make it so much more powerful. Like, if you're gonna have like 25 Hydras and you park them right below the void rays, your Hydras are going to do really fine. Who actually, Snute did not scout. Okay, he did scout. For a second, I was really afraid that Snute completely missed it, but he saw the assimilator.
And does not reveal his Overlord, does not allow Alicia to see that he is close.
That's very smart.
Close by ground, bottom right. Now, when I say that these players are close to each other, it doesn't mean that they're actually that close. Whirlwind's still a very large map, but
as close as you can get, man.
It is as close as you can get. Close enough for some crazy 2-base all-ins to be very viable. We've seen the infamous Unmortal all-in be successful here in the past.
I've seen a couple of Zergs actually on these spawning locations expand towards the Protoss, which I always think is extremely ballsy, and this is kind of asking for a really aggressive move from Protoss, while we have 2 happy Zerglings right now running in the natural. Do we not have a Zealot or a Stalker? So this
mothership core though.
That's the only thing.
If I was a Zergling, I'd be very scared of a mothership core.
I wouldn't.
Giant flying blue ball shooting lasers at me.
It's kind of supersonic.
Yeah.
I would just still go in for the kill probe. Completely worth it.
I don't think you would get the probe though.
Probes must taste very tasty. I think with 2 Zerglings you might be able to get a probe.
I think a probe is probably the least tasty of the workers. There's like nothing organic in there. It's just meat and wires. Okay. Like a drone is probably pretty delicious. An SCV has like a warm cream filling.
Man, you're a cannibal.
Is just like metal and cold.
We see the Stargate going down in the main base for Alicia. This is the first Stargate. Snute did not scout it yet. Most likely will still sacrifice an Overlord, as the first Overlord is already heading in. 5 minutes and 40 seconds. A very early scout for Snute. But he wants to make sure he won't get surprised. He has nothing to worry about, as everything is...
he will probably spot that Stargate.
He should. Because there's only a single sentry right now that it actually shoots up. He's gonna bring it out. It could be a trick, Alicia. There could be a big swell of Zerglings right now running into your natural.
And
That's a trick that still works, man. It's still surprisingly good.
Worked with the Reaper yesterday, too.
Yep.
Overlord spots the Stargate, sees a Phoenix in production. Now, Alicia hasn't made a single Oracle today. We were seeing Oracles used a little bit more by Crank yesterday.
Yeah, actually, but that was the first time I've seen Oracles in a little while.
Mhm.
Oracles just in general are, you know, once Zerg scouts the Stargate, like if there is no Spore Crawler yet, I think Oracles can still be very good, but most of the time Zergs have got so good in their Overlord scouting, they know where to spot those Stargates, and if they know that Oracles are on the way, they just get Spore Crawlers, and it's very hard to make those Oracles pay for themselves. Still, having one Oracle can be very useful, certainly Revelation I think is a great spell that we're going to see off later on.
I love the way Snute scouts so aggressively.
Yep.
He is searching for pylons. He was talking to us about this earlier on. He makes it his mission to seek out and destroy any pylons that could, you know, ruin his day. And he's going to be very thorough around the top right-hand corner of the map. I don't think he'll scout that 12 o'clock pylon, but in spite of that,
Well, that pylon is also very, very far away, so
Yeah.
it shouldn't give him all that much headache. Mothership Core floating over is going to try to spot that turret base. A couple of Zealots
are going to be taking a long hike.
Yeah. Those Zealots actually would have been quicker if they got warped into the main base and just like walked all the way from there. A lot of Zerglings, by the way, making their way over, but we do have... Actually, I think that that's not enough. He's going to have to drop a force field though. Isn't it right?
No, Snoop's not going to try his luck. He's going to back off.
Don't you think he needs a force field for that one?
It looks like that's not a very fat Zealot. It looks like he doesn't clog up that hole, but Snoop didn't want to risk it.
Actually, perhaps it was just positioning of the Zealots, because the probe, the way it went through, kind of gave me the feeling that he had to click on the minerals to go through. So I guess it was a good one. 3 Zealots are marching on the right side of the map. They're going to try to make their way into this third base, but soon there's plenty of Zealots. Actually, he just sent the Zerglings away. The Zerglings are right now running through the middle of the map. So these Zealots come on a kind of unfortunate moment for Snute.
Immediately, Snoop spots it and pulls everything back, though, and I don't think he's going to lose too much here. Maybe a drone, maybe a queen.
Losing a little bit of mining time.
But Lings are here to save the day.
I love how +1 is already on the way for the Void Race. Alicia is not taking half measures this game. He's like, you thought game 1 was a lot of Void Race? Wait for Whirlwind.
So Phoenix is just lifting the queen just to be annoying. Not a single drone kill. Very, very nice defense there by Snoop.
And he's already up to 66 drones as well. 70 drones right now. A solid 3-base economy. Well, that's a really quick third nexus for Alicia as well, though. That's like, that went down at the 9-minute mark, or even a little bit quicker. He has 3 sentries, 2 Void Rays, and he's just like, you know what, this is more than enough.
Yep. And he's following up with 2 more Stargates, so we are seeing a return to this Void Race style that Alicia is kind of famous for.
And I'm very curious to see how Snute is going to deal with it this time. He will have a crazy economy, and I can only imagine that not the same thing is going to happen as Belshire Vestige, where he was just very surprised when Alicia decided to move out for the first time. I don't think that Alicia is going to try to go for a similar timing there, because the 4th base on Whirlwind would most likely be taken at the 3 o'clock position, and that's not a base that you can just snipe easily as a Protoss player.
Now, Snute is not getting that instant hive. He's getting pathogen glands before hive this time. Looks like he wants to focus on his infestors.
You remember the game he played in Pro League, which was against Free or Flying, where he tried to, where that Zerg was, or that Protoss was playing a little bit similar to Alicia did right now, even though that guy was going for Archons later on as well. But then Snute tried to boss that turret base from Protoss with a lot of links and infestors, but that didn't really work very well. And if I look at the way that Alicia is defending his turret base with cannons, and he has a couple of Void Rays, I don't think that's going to work either. So I hope that Snute is not really going to commit to it, and we can see the hive going down right now, so I don't think he was planning to. It's good news.
He's getting +1 range attack, +1 carapace. Void Ray is going to make their way over to the back of the natural expansion, but Snute very thorough with several Spore Crawlers, knowing exactly what he needs to be prepared for.
It is that little Void Ray hit spot, which could potentially be very annoying at a 4th base, but this is, once more, this is Whirlwind, and the 4th base is going down on the 3 o'clock position. It's just extremely hard for a Protoss to scout that without too many units. Or like without being too obvious as well, there's so much creep.
Yeah, Snoot's doing a pretty good job with his creep spread. I think he could maybe be a little further along, but whoa, Kev. You've got a Nidus network going down.
No, he's going to go Muda Nidus ban. He's answering your prayers. For the people who don't know, Mr. Bitter has been preaching for Muda Nidus being the best thing ever.
For years now.
I actually think we're going to see Nidus Swarmos
That's
play.
Exactly what we're going to see. We've got the Locust
sick.
upgrade on the way, and I'm wondering how he's going to make this work.
Well, he just canceled a lot of stuff, all drones. I guess he felt that he had enough drones, which I would probably agree with.
Where's he plan on building this Nidus, Kev? Maybe he's just going to build it outside of the natural?
He still has a couple of Zerglings. He has an Overseer over here as well. I guess he's just gonna hop in, spawn a bunch of locusts, and hop off again.
He has 11 queens, which should be enough to deal with the 6 void rays that are out. Certainly when you factor in the infestors.
Sentries are really annoying though, Ben. Do we have a Spire on the map? I don't think so, right?
I don't think 92 drones. Holy smokes!
Could definitely get a couple of Spore Crawls as well defensively. The Void Rays are currently at 1-1-1, so very solid upgrades over here for Alicia, who's in 143 supply against 170 for Snute. Where's that first knight is going to go down? He has a couple of links. I guess slowly but steady he's going to send those links to the north side. We have a lot of Zealots right now working on this hatch, but Snute, I want to say, Ben, should be able to keep it alive, but it's actually going to be pretty close.
Lings are going to come around from behind. There are a couple of roaches as well. Zealots are focusing the hatch, and there's so many queens out they could come up and transfuse, but Snute does not look like he wants to do that!
Oh my god,
oh!
He's gonna stay alive, but barely.
That hatchery survives with no hit points. Immediately, Alicia warps in.
Oh, look at all these queens. The next time Alicia arrives, this hatchery is gonna be full HP. Alicia's gonna be like, what trickery is this? Witchcraft, it's not allowed.
It's absolute wizardry. It literally is a full health hatchery. That's awesome. Lings do finally spot the Zealots, and I think this is going to key Snute in on the pylon that is somewhere around 12 o'clock.
Nice pickup over there by Snute as well. All those Zealots, it's still a bunch of minerals. We got 5 more Zealots being wiped in, and Snute is going to find that pylon right now, and those 5 additional Zealots. What are the upgrades on the gateway units? Okay, 1-1 as well.
Same upgrades as the Lings have. And it's actually going to be enough of an upgrade advantage for these Zealots to stick around for a little while.
That one Roach, man. Roaches ignore upgrades. We had a lot of swarm modes on the map, but so far we haven't seen gun. Okay, there comes the first Nidus network.
Asking you shall receive. And Alicia seems to know.
Big Zealot wiping.
I don't know how he knows.
What? That's crazy.
He's just like, that can't have been on purpose. That was a warp in to go around and kill that hatchery, I'm convinced. There's no way he intentionally did that. Zealots are going to catch some of these Lings, but immediately they'll get surrounded. Snute will just put the next Nidus exit at the edge of his
That was beautiful positioning for the Zealots over there, though, before those Zerglings came in from the back. Nidus network is going to go down. We have a double even, just in case the first Nidus network gets sniped and all the Locusts won't be able to get away. This is a crazy amount of swarmers.
With no Colossi and no High Templar. Oh, there are High Templar. Do they have Storm?
Yes, he researched it before.
Okay, so that'll help. That'll help. Alicia does have something of an AoE mechanism to work against all these Locusts, but this is not going to be an easy hold for him to make. I really feel like
we got oh my god, we got it at 2 different positions as well. We got a double Nidus going up right now on the north side as well. This is going to be really annoying. Imagine Locusts swarming in from 2 sides instead of 1.
Yeah, not to mention the extra creep that it gives. And look at this stacked up Void Rays. Will the Infestors drop the Fungal?
It's not.
Yeah. Not quite the Fungal he wanted. Second one's pretty good as well, but he's going to back up to his Queens.
There are so many Queens. We got a couple of Spore Crawls over here as well. This is actually looking quite okay for Snute. I think that Alicia's going to have a really rough time at engaging this. We had the first wave of Locusts working on the natural expand of Alicia, doing quite a bit of damage to the gateway.
Yes, Alicia's just going to go around and try and base race or something. Snute's going to make another Nidus exit near his 4th so that he can quickly essentially teleport to his 4th base.
Man, I guess this army would just be amazing to have an insane amount of High Templars because you can feed back literally everything.
Yeah, the Queens, the Infestors, Storm on the Locusts. Snute is actually going to end up surrounding this army. He'll be coming in behind it. Zerglings up into the main base. We see a Dark Shrine there as well, so DT could become an issue later on. Zealot's going to do a ton of damage to this mineral line. A lot of feedback going down as well on the Queens.
Where is the Mothership Core though? Did he lose it?
I don't see
Yeah, it's gone.
There is no Mothership Core, so there is no recall, so that makes this a very committed army. Void Rays are going to try to sneak out the back. Meanwhile, Ling's continuing to render this main base almost completely useless. Excellent use of transfusion here. Queens don't kill anything fast, but they kill everything eventually.
A lot of Void Rays in the main base though, Ben, and I really love the bases that Alicia has decided to attack so far, because that 4th base had an insane amount of static defense, but that 3rd base didn't really have all that much, and now the main base is taking a crazy amount of damage as well. How many Queens do we have remaining? We still have 12 Queens, and we have 3 Infestors. That should be enough, certainly without a transfuse.
Plenty of Queens.
Great
Massive
fungal.
Fungal does land. These Queens are just never going to die. There's so much transfusion. Void Rays, again, they're not going to die fast, but they are going to die eventually as Snute is slowly but surely cleaning up the last of this, tries to catch the rest of those Rays, only ends up catching 1.
Still though, Alicia has a supply lead right now, Ben. Snute has only 35 drones remaining.
What? Where did all of his workers go?
He
had 92 of them.
Look at all the Void Rays right now, actually attacking that fort base as well from Snute on the right top side of the map. And there are so many spine crawlers, but they can't actually attack these Void Rays.
Oh no, Nidus is being used pretty effectively here. Very nice fungal, catching the vast majority of those Void Rays. Queens are slowly showing up to clean up, but there's no more infestor energy. And like you said, the drone count has gotten so incredibly low. There are 25 workers on the map for Snute right now.
Man, what an excellent decision that was by Alicia to just march across the map and start attacking different bases and start counterattacking, and perhaps losing the mothership core, making sure that he could never recall out, was actually a pretty damn good thing, Ben, because he did so much damage in the main base as well, and taking out that third base where there was a crazy amount of drones was an excellent decision.
And Zealot Void Ray. Looks like it is a pretty deadly unit composition. Snute has so many Nidus exits around the map. He's spent like 1,000 gas on Nidus worm heads.
And he's gonna drop another one. He has so much creep to him as well. Do we even have robotics facility in the map? Okay, the first one is being warped in right now, so no observers. And Oracle would have been pretty useful as well to deal with all this creep tumors.
Yeah.
But the last of Alicia's worries right now is he just did so much economic damage.
Oh, get back in there, infestors! And that Nidus head is going to be hacked to bits.
25 zealots.
As Alicia is once more going to... Well, I thought he was going to mobilize, but it looks like he's not convinced yet that it's time.
Army supply shows us it's 99 against 95 right now, so Snute still has a very scary army, something that Alicia is probably aware of, and he knows he's going to have to be very careful in engaging it. Certainly because Locusts are extremely good against Zealots.
Yeah.
But as long as he just buys a little bit of time for himself, he should know that he's in a great economical position in 66 probes against only 33 drones.
If you look at the actual mining rate, Snute is literally bringing in half the amount of resources as his opponent, which should mean that Alicia is able to remax twice as fast.
All these queens are still scary though. We only have 4 High Templars on the map right now. Fungal does land on this poor Dark Templar, which is going to greet a lot of Locusts.
And this is Alicia's main army right here. If he loses this, he's in a world of trouble. And Snute has a very, very scary force of Swarm Host, Queen, Infestor, but once again, Alicia says, I'm not going to fight you. I'm going to go around.
That fort base has a lot of static defense though, so like run-bys are not going to work. He's going to need to bring pretty much his entire army. If Snute takes out this fort base from Alicia, that would be a very nice pickup as well, and that shouldn't really take all that long with the crazy amount of Locusts that he has.
Certainly if he can kill a lot of these probes, but it looks like he is instead going to be focusing on the Nexus. Nexus will fall, but Alicia's going to preserve most of those workers, which is very, very important. This is a lot of Zealots. This is too many Zealots for the Spine Crawlers.
Well, he's going to bring all the army. He lands a Fungal, that's a great Fungal, and he has 2 Nidus networks as well over here, so he could potentially bring back a lot of units, but is he going to do that?
Oh, he hasn't yet, and at this point it would be very dangerous with the Void Rays there. Let's pick units off one at a time, and Snute will not be able to save this base. Not only will he lose the expansion, but he's going to lose every single worker there as well. Tons of infested Terrans going down at the 4th expansion of Alicia. The 3rd base has also been killed. This is going to turn into a base trade.
So basically both players are not going to be mining anymore. Alicia still has that base, but it's going to die to all those infested Terrans. Actually, he wiped in a couple of Dark Templars, but...
Oh, can they save the day?
Actually, Ben, they will be able to keep it alive for now, but does it really matter? Snute has a bigger bank there, and of course he has Nidus networks. He's going to bring back a lot of infestors and queens. I'm not sure where they're going to go, because there are so many exits to the natural, yeah.
Now, something that's really critical to keep in mind, if this does turn into a base race, as we do see Void Rays flying into a lot of queens, and a big Fungal does go down. A huge Fungal lands for Snute. He's going to kill every single Void Ray. And these Zealots are going to have a damn hard time breaking past these Swarm Hosts. Infested Terran's going to go down as well. Storm landing.
This is such a crazy fight, but I actually think that Snute is going to have more than enough to defend for now.
Doesn't kill the last of the Void Rays, but does turn Alicia back.
Oh my god, I can't believe that Snute just turned it around the way he did. He's now on 126 supply, and he also has a way bigger bank than Alicia. But Ben, Alicia did keep that fort base alive, but he's actually long distance mining with the probes on the left top side of the map, so he's losing a lot of money.
Yeah, he's retaken 2 more expansions around the top left-hand corner of the map, so Alicia trying to re-establish himself.
Dark Templar is actually slicing away on the infestors on the left top side of the map. He's going to spawn a lot more infested Terrans.
Those infestors need to burrow. Does he even have burrow? I don't think that he does. No, it
well, that was expensive. I hope for him that he's going to be able to pick up this Nexus.
Yep, Nexus. Yes, Nexus does go down. So,
but that was a very expensive Nexus snipe. That was at the cost of 6-7 infestors, literally.
Almost all of the infestors. Well, I say that 11 infestors do remain on the map. Snute right now working with 30 drones against 21 probes. It's 101 supply to 111 army supply.
Bizarre game.
80 army supply for Protoss, 81 army supply for Zerg. These guys are still neck and neck.
But 3 army supply, 320 for Snute. 0 for Alicia.
This is also not completely incorrect. Snute taking new expansions right below where Alicia spawned this game, trying to reestablish his creep spread.
I mean, Snoop's still going to have to be extremely careful with the way that he moves his units around the map. They are extremely vulnerable. A couple of feed packs or void ray snipes and everything is dying. If he doesn't have any locusts to protect his army, even Zealots still pose a pretty big threat. But he has crazy creep spread, he has pretty good vision, and he has a lot of static defense around the map as well. But Snute right now, Ben, is not mining, and he's also showing no intention of trying to mine anywhere near soon.
Well, he is taking that base at right here, and there are some drones heading over there, so he will have an income eventually. But it's not going to be much of one. A couple of infestors are going to get caught by this single void.
Oh, all those void rays are so clumped up, Ben, but the infestors misrallied a little bit.
Oh, and where are the swarm hosts? The swarm hosts are on the wrong side of the map. Good fungal does go down, but there are no locusts. The Nidus head also going to be killed.
Wow, that was a very nice pickup for Alicia. He just killed a lot of expensive units once more, and we had
Snute. He's going to catch a lot of these zealots, and this might not seem like a huge deal, but it is. This is a very critical point in the game where neither player can really afford anything.
We have 8 High Templars on the map, only 6 infestors remaining, 14 swarmos. This is turning into an absolute crazy game. He's actually going to be able to pick up so many of the drones on the right side of the map because those drones were misrallied. Those drones are going to go back right now to the natural, and we had 1 Dark Templar trying to be a hero, but there were 4 overseers.
It was not meant to be.
Wrong day, man.
They saw him all 4 times.
Yes. Any other day you could have been that guy. Tonight, you're not that guy. Oh, what a bizarre game, Ben.
Fantastic game.
69 army supply against 70 right now. We are 30 minutes into the game. The score is 1-1 between Snute and Alicia. We are, of course, playing best of 5. And the winner of this series will go to the grand finals in Korea and will guarantee himself with at least 5,000. But, of course, would still be in the running to take that first prize of $40,000.
It would really serve Snute well to take out all of Alicia's tech up in the main base. He's left it all alive. There's critical tech buildings, there's critical gateways that allow him to create units. Having all of that infrastructure there gives Alicia legs, man. Allows him to stick around.
Alicia is on 27 probes. There are 37 drones on the map for Snute, but Alicia is going to be on 2 mining bases real soon. He's also be able to produce 2 drones at a time. There's 1 Dark Templar slicing away at the hatchery on the left side of the map, and he actually forced a cancel on it, so well done. That Dark Templar was a hero, Ben.
More infestors on the way for Snute, realizing that he's going to have to rely on his spellcasters if he wants to win this game.
We see a robotics bay being wiped in right now for Alicia. That's interesting. As you pointed out, killing a cybercore and a couple of those pilots in the main base would be very useful. I guess he's just afraid that the units are too far away from a Nidus network that he won't be able to keep his natural life or something like that.
The army of Alicia being much more active than the army of Snute right now, and I guess understandably so. But Snute, I would hate to see him make the mistake of being overly passive and allowing Alicia to gain more ground perhaps than he should.
Oh, might be able to pick up a High Templar over here or 2. Look at those locusts, they're so quick. Oh. He picks up 1 High Templar. That's actually a pretty big pick-off, certainly because they're 200 NG, I believe.
Absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. High Templar for some free supply. Yes, I will take that exchange. Couple of probes going to try to evacuate.
Got a couple of roaches right now in the main base, by the way, Ben. So those roaches are going to do exactly what you suggested a little while ago. Instead, Alicia is going to wipe in a bunch of chartles. He's like, I kind of like my tech.
It's still very expensive. Notice how little money Alicia has. So those 5 zealots.
First Colossus are in production. He's working off 37 probes. Snute is working off the same amount of drones. He's going to try to get another Nidus, Ben. So slowly but steady, we're going to go back to what we tried to do 15 minutes ago in this game, and that is drop a couple of Nidus networks around the map.
He also needs more bases. Alicia working on 2 base right now and is continuing to be very, very active, and I think that is so key.
You know what I think would be really good? Go back to roaches.
That's never a bad decision.
Certainly not if you're in this situation. Low economy.
And we see some of that already happening. A few swarm hosts even going to come lend some aid to this Roach hit squad. This Dark Templar in a standoff with the Queens.
Maybe instead of Mutant Nidus, it was Roach Nidus all along then.
I dare you to cross that creep tumor line, says the DC.
I would like to point out that Snute is still completely unaware of the base that's going down on the, 1 or 2 o'clock, the base on the right top side of the map. That's a base that Snute has never scouted, and that is actually a pretty big deal.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Because if he knew that, he would probably be more aggressive, try to make something happen over there. Perhaps even send a bunch of speedlings. Why not?
I do think it's a base that he could easily do something about, as we see the focus of Alicia is definitely on the top left-hand side of the map, not even really being mindful of his main base at this point.
Thermal Lens is about to finish up. We have one Colossus. A couple of Changelings are going to march to the left top side of the map. They're going to see that Colossus. So Snute knows what's going on. Meanwhile, we have a couple of Zealots slicing away on this hatchery. Ooh, one Swarmos is going to save the day.
And Alicia spots it, so that Nidus will get shut down.
Really nice save, by the way, from Snute on his 9 o'clock position. This Nidus will fall. Those Zealots will deny it. Well done by Alicia as well. There's just action all around the map. Now Snute knows.
He does know, and I do not think that this is a base that Alicia's going to be able to save as...
Where's Alicia's army? Okay, it's just protecting the base on the north side of the map right now. Man, that was such a key save on this hatchery on the 9 o'clock position by Snute with a bunch of locusts. Very well done.
That base is absolutely dead.
And right now the clock is kind of ticking again for Alicia, because slowly but steady Snute is taking away all map control from him. Those locusts are going to completely ravage this base. A bunch of infested Terrans being spawned as well, just to be sure.
Yep. I would not like to see him waste all of his energy from those infestors. He's going to need that. More Nidus is going down all around the place.
I would really love a free army supply tab to see how many free units are right on the map. You think that's a great idea?
Only you would request that.
It makes casting so much easier, man.
It makes your whining so much easier, Kev.
I never complain.
Never have you ever. Here we go, big fight starting to materialize. That is a massive fungal on top of everything. Alicia's trying to throw down storms to save himself, but every Templar is caught, every Void Ray is caught, some of the Colossi caught as well.
Those Colossus are kind of scary though. Rico is being used probably on the right moment, because that army was starting to run quite low on HP.
What about us, guys? The Templar get left behind.
Meanwhile, we still got a couple of roaches slowly but steady picking up everything that Alicia had in his original main base. So Alicia's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to completely rebuild my army on the left top side of the map. I got 2 fresh bases over here. Eventually, I will be able to retake my once upon a time 5th base, which is now going to be my 3rd base. And I guess he's just going to perhaps try to hit and run a little bit. He still has a mothership core. He has a scary army.
This game has been absolute madness. 160 supply over 116. Snute looks to be taking more and more control over this situation. He has produced a few Vipers as well, and they're going to be sitting around with full energy, which is going to add just that next layer of depth to his army.
It's going to be so tough for Alicia to do something about those 18 Swarmos, but if he somehow, some way is able to pick off a couple of them at a time, then eventually he might be able to do something about it. Another Nidus network going down quite close to the base over here from Alicia. But this is also risky. Oh. Imagine if that observer from Alicia was a little bit to the right side.
6 o'clock expansion being harassed by a couple of Zealots. Snute sending over some Swarm Hosts and some Locusts to save the day, and he should do just that. Very nicely done there by Snute.
He still didn't see that Nidus, man. That creep is so close to actually revealing itself. Oh my god, that's so close. He didn't see it.
Man, that Protoss army is big, it's scary, and it is getting further and further
away. My god, and now everything swarms down that ramp, and he just barely missed it once more.
He's literally separated the army from the bases. This could be the killing blow. Alicia, terribly out of position. How is Snute going to do this? Now, one thing he can't do is send the Vipers through the Nidus, so they're going to have to come across the map the hard way.
More Nidus networks going down. It must be a terrifying
this poor
Alicia.
Immortal. That Immortal.
I was like, that was the wrong moment for me to be wiped in.
Tonight he dines in hell. That's what I was worried about. The Vipers getting just obliterated by the Void Rays.
Those were the only Vipers on the map as well, so no other additional. He's still making Swarmos as well, Ben. What do you think about it? We have 21 on the map already.
Well, they're not going to help against the Void Rays, but the Infestors should hopefully be able to do that job. This is a very scary army coming forward for Alicia, what could be the final fight of the game.
I think he's going to have to recall once more, Ben. There are so many infested Swarm Hosts as well.
And Roaches from behind are going to catch the Colossi.
The Mothership Core died.
Do it! Snute crashing into these Colossi will clean up the last of it. The final Void Ray goes down, and what a phenomenal game from Liquid Snute. Fighting for freedom. Cleans it all up. 60 supply remains for Alicia, and I think this one is officially over, Kev. Very nicely done by Snute.
I still think he's going to try. We have a couple of Zealots and Immortals trying to save the day. There's a bunch of sentries. Oh, okay, they're going to the wrong direction. I'm not sure what he's going to find over there. So that means that all these locusts loaded with SETI are going to make their way over to this. Yeah, what base is it even from, Alicia?
His last couple of bases is what they are, as a Snute in a very excellent position, driving a wedge between Alicia and his remaining forces. And man, what an excellent game we had here on Whirlwind. Absolutely phenomenal from beginning to end.
So weird as well, so strange in so many different phases of this game. There is one Colossus right now on the high ground. The Immortals and Sentries are going to try to make their way back. There are just a crazy amount of swarm hosts on the map. There are 19 of them.
19 swarm hosts. Alicia's going to drop another Dark Shrine. Win behind, go Dark Shrine.
Well, he picked up one of the Nidus networks. Fungo does land on those 2 sentries. 4 sentries.
But
wrong moment to be a sentry as well.
I'm afraid that there's nothing left that Alicia can do here. This
Alicia got so unfortunate, man, when those Nidus networks went down. Imagine if he spots it. Imagine if he sees it when there are only like 5-6 units out of the Nidus canal. Then he's able to pick those off immediately, and it's a complete different ball game. And right now, it couldn't have gone any worse for him. It's also quite unfortunate to see.
These 2 sentries into some more. What are they doing? They're on a special forces mission.
Well, they're going to pick up a swarm host.
Snoot's going to make his way up the final ramp. The last stand of Alicia, he does have a couple of force fields to hold the line. That will keep the locusts out for a little while. But I can't help but feel like it's just delaying the inevitable. Infested Terran's going to go down over the edge. Some Fungals landing as well, and there it is. Good game.
What a great game on Whirlwind, man. A 42-minute game. Snute takes a 2-1 lead in this series. And if you talk about a back and forth game, this was definitely one of them.
I don't think you could ask for a much better game there. Absolutely just a slugfest, Alicia, right now. Man, that has to be a frustrating loss for him.
It's so crazy to see how decisions can work out. The first time that Alicia decided to march across the map, it was an absolute brilliant move, and he did so much damage, and he kind of put himself in a fantastic position. But I felt the second time he marched across the map, Snute was much better prepared. This was just one of the many absolute crazy fights that we had, but I believe it was the last one. And after that Mothership Core died, Ben, there was no way back.
That's right. Mothership Core goes down, and that means you are committed. The Roach flank, I think, my favorite part of that engagement. Snute not forgetting a single one of his units. He was hitting Control F2 frantically. Give me everything!
I really think if he recalls there, it's still not all that bad. Because like, if you look at the supply, it was quite close. He had 2 fresh bases, basically. I mean, sure, that natural, like, let's say the natural from the left top side of the map.
I mean, no matter what, it's close.
Yeah.
In any way you cut it, it's close. But upon losing the army, obviously, Snute sealed his victory. Excellent game. Absolutely awesome.
Excellent use of the swarm host as well. Shows that the swarm host can be an exciting unit. It's not always that slow siege unit. It can be
so cool.
It can be the cool unit as well that's being used with Nidus candles all around the map and just forces an absolute crazy game.
So cool. Does mean that the score is 2-1 in this best of 5. We're going to head into another break. When we get back, Game 4, the WCS Season 1 Finals. Don't go anywhere.